Alright, what's up, guys? So, this video is a story time video and also an advice giving video for anybody that's going through a situation like this. So, yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, I've kind of discussed this before, a few times, but, no, I feel like I need to, like, there's always, like, something new that I think about, and it's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, overthinking is definitely a killer. Like I wish I didn't overthink too much because man, at times it's kind of just frustrating just sitting down thinking so much. It's like thinking about stuff that really doesn't even matter anymore. So yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, bro. I'm like, I wish I could just kind of just start fresh and just fresh mind, just everything just fresh, and just continue moving forward in life. But I don't know. Like I feel like if I'm going to close the door, I need to close the door all the way and stuff. So but anyways, so yeah, getting straight on into it and stuff. So this is, the story. I'm gonna kind of just blend it where it's like I'm telling this story and then I'm also kind of giving out advice at some key points and stuff. So, but anyways, so I had a friend, and this is a friend where I'm like I at one point considered them close and just pay attention to that and stuff. But anyways, at one point I considered them close, and then eventually as the time progressed on, I gained feelings for this said friend. So yeah, it was one of those things where I'm like, I think it's just life. Like I don't really feel bad for it. It's like something where it's like, if you gain feelings for somebody, it's like, yeah, you can't really stop yourself. Like if you truly do care about that person, it's like, yeah, it's at some point in time, like I do think that the feelings will be overall gain. I mean, yeah, there's at times where it's like you can befriend the person, you don't have like no true feelings for them and stuff, and that's cool. Either way, it's like whether you do or don't, like it's fine. Like I think that at times though people try to make it seem weird, like things is gonna get weirded out, and I'm like, fam, I had a friend tell me maybe what was it last year, a couple of years ago, that she had feelings for me, and we're still friends till this day. So that's something where I'm like, I don't look at her any different than I did. If anything, I'm like, I want to hang out with her more. So I'm like, okay, in case things do work out, then yeah, it's like I'm saying, like, what could possibly go wrong? So it's like based off of, and just talking on that friend real quick, based off of like what they've told me and just who they are and just kind of, just learning more about them, I'm like, I really don't even understand why I had rejected them in the first place. It was somewhere I was like, I still think about it to this day, and I'm like, why? Like, it's just it's weird. It's really weird. But so, anyways, now getting back to the friend I'll be talking about throughout this video. So at some point in time, I told them, they made it weird, and I'm like, but I don't know, I guess like people are just different about things. I'm not trying to say she should have had the same reaction as I did, but it's not something I think should be looked at as weird. Like it's something where it's like, okay, if that person says that they have feelings for you, it's like, don't push them away, because if anything, I think that that's just gonna make things worse. Like a true friendship ain't gonna really come out of it and stuff. And so I'm like, and the reason why I say that is because I've heard situations before where it's like, like two people, like friends at one point, they date, realize it don't work, but then they still remain good friends. And so I'm like, it's something where I'm like, it didn't even need to go that far. It could have just been somewhere it's like, all right, we sit down, communicate, talk about it, but it's like if like nothing really gets discussed or talked about, then yeah, it's like it's one of those things where it's just, one thing that I am going to say is that, and this is something that I saw on social media, it's like when you get mixed signals where it's like, the person seems like that they kind of, they might have feelings for you, but then they say no, but then they kind of like, it's this back and forth game. Don't even pursue. Like, it's honestly, I'm pretty much like, spoiler alert for this whole video, all of it was a waste of time. I was like, it really didn't matter whether or not, because the thing is this, how I look at the situation now, it's like, if it hurt this bad being rejected by a friend, I can only imagine where it's like, okay, we get into a relationship and then some stuff goes down, and like, yeah, it's I feel like it'll been like 10 times worse. So that's why I'm like, yeah, if you go through all that, like, struggle, like everything that I'm gonna be talking on, if you go through this and then like at the end of the this video, you're debating whether or not, like, should you keep pursuing or should you, if they come out and tell you that they have feelings for you, okay, pursue. If not, move on. I was like, that's the best advice. That's honestly the best advice I'm gonna give you throughout this whole video. But anyway, so continuing on with the story. So, but yeah, I did feel like a lot of times like I was being pushed away. So, but I still for some reason kept pursuing, kept asking, and all that stuff. And after just time and time and time again, just being rejected. So eventually, COVID happened. And yeah, something where it was like, all right, well, I think it wasn't even so much as with COVID. Like, I think I remember in the beginning of 2020, I told myself, I was like, I am going to, fool with her anymore. Like, I am going to, more so seek a friendship than a relationship with her and stuff, because I feel like maybe I was maybe moving too fast, yada, yada. So anyways, then at some point in time during COVID, that's when she told me that she was like, I guess like trying to keep it a secret from me, because yeah, overall she was right. She knew I was gonna have a reaction to it, but anyways, yeah, she ended up getting into a relationship. I was hurt. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. Like, I was hurt, even though I told myself like I wasn't even gonna pursue anymore. At some point in time, I knew I was gonna do it again. All right, I knew I was. It probably would have been, even if like COVID and the relationship, none of that stuff would have happened. It probably have been like 5, 6, 7 months within 2020. I most likely would have tried again and stuff. So, but anyways, so yeah, like I said, it hurt, and it put me in this like extreme deep depression. But this was something like where I tried to remain positive. I tried not to lose my cool. I tried not to be disrespectful. But at the same time, it's like, when a person is hurt, it's like I feel like, just partially letting off some of your emotions, that's not going to, cure the pain in you. So I think that's, what this video really is just, me talking on how I really feel. Because, the thing is that if you're so-called friends with the person, right? Like, especially if you call them a best friend, close friend, whatever, what are you going to want to do with this best friend, close friend, whatever you want to call them and stuff, family, blood, because there's so many different ways of calling somebody, like, close, even if they're not blood, but you still call them close in some sort of, like, way and things. But you're going to want to hang out with them. You're going to want to spend time with them. You're going to want to, like, talk with them all the time and all that. And we were, like, but it was more so just, like, texting type stuff. But it's like when I hear other people and how they are with their best friends, where it's like they're talking on the phone, playing video games. Like, I've had, friends out there where it's like, there's, like, one friend that I've known him since I was 10. Bro, me and this guy, I had to say, like, we have seen each other literally grow up. Like, there's things that he most likely remembers or knows about me, and it's the same way for him, where it's like, bro, I have seen this man grow from a kid to a man. Like, he has a family, he is really living the life right now. Like, it's one of those things where it's kind of like a friendly jealousy, where it's like I'm happy for him, but it's like, it's like I'm not like actually like, oh, I don't want to talk with him, I don't want to look at him, I don't want to spend time. Like, bro, I had went to his kid's birthday party. I was like, I'm nothing but happy for this guy. So, but anyways, but me and this guy, I'm saying, like, we have hung out for hours, okay? Whether he's at my house, whether I'm at his house, whether we're playing video games, whatever the situation. Like, this is somebody where I'm like, I know when the day does come, when content creating really does go good for me, I'm like, look, bruh, whatever you need, I got you, okay? Like, nah, that's like, cause you are somebody that I've known. Like, you're one friend that has stuck through since we were kids. Like, I'm saying, like, when you're like, when you're a kid and then you're in a classroom and then you're friends with the whole classroom, right? Like, in some occasions, there might be some occasions where you don't really be talking with people like that, but like, it's kind of a common thing. But it's like you're friends with the whole classroom, right? And then you have like that one friend that you're really chill with. That's me and him, all right? So anyways, then as the time progresses on, middle school, you're maybe friends with like half of that classroom. High school, you're maybe friends with like 25% of that classroom. And then after, graduation, it's like, bro, you ain't really talking to nobody. But this was the guy where it was like we were still hanging out after graduation. We were still playing video. We were like, bro, it was somebody where I'm like, we might not be blood. We might not look alike. We might come from two different parts of the world. That's my brother. That is somebody where I'm like, I believe that down to my core. Unless, like, yeah, we, go our separate ways. Like, we don't really hang out or chill like how we used to. Because, I mean, yeah, it's like this man got, like, a whole family and stuff. So I was like, I can understand that. But it's like, when you're not in a situation like that, right? and then you so-called claim a person is supposed to be your best friend, but you never hang out with them. It slowly got to a point where you wasn't even talking with them anymore, and this was before the relationship, right? So it's like before all of that, and then you just notice like a change in the friendship. And I mean, like, there was even times where she would say some things like prior before where it was like, and that was one thing where it's like, I feel like I should have more so stood up for myself, or just kind of had like more of a firm tone. Well, we text, so it wouldn't even have been no firm tone in the first place and things. But I guess maybe I should have said something sooner, where it's like, or text something sooner. But no, but it was like there was at times I remember, like, there was one time I remember when a cousin of mine's, where he passed away at a house party. He was sadly shot and killed. And I told her, I was like, I'm never fooling with parties again. Like, I'm not parties. They're after that. I'm like, they're not my thing anymore. And she goes on to say, like, have you never been to a party? And when you feel a certain way about that comment, it's like something should have been said. And I think I did overall say something, but I think right then and there I should have just been like, you know what? I should have started noticing things right then and there, but no, instead, sometime later going about like, hey, so it's like, you talking to anybody, you see anybody? And then, yeah, so, but anyways, I'm gonna, just be flat out honest with you guys. I feel like at some point in time in my life, like, especially during that time, I feel like I was a very weak person. Like, you could say, dude, walk all over me and stuff, and I'm just, pretty much, it's kind of like a dog mentality, where it's like, you can literally take this dog's favorite toy and rip it up in front of them and things, but a week or two later, it's like, then forgot all about that, and I'm right back cool with you and things. So yeah, it's like, I have to say, I think that's something that I've said before, but yeah, I was like, that was a mindset that I was on. I'm like, now I have to say, like, where I'm at mentally, where it's like, no, you say do anything to me, I'm like, I'm cutting you off right then and there. Ain't got nothing to say to you. Trust me, you'll know this. So, or if not, I'm like, I'm gonna just be blunt and honest with you and be like, fam, I don't want to chill with you no more. So yeah, it's one of those. It's not even that. I'm like, if you just see that I'm not following you anymore on social media, that's really where it starts and stuff. But anyways, but yeah, so it was that. And I'm trying to think, what was another thing that she had? I'm trying to. I honestly, I can't remember. It was because it was years ago. But I feel like there was a couple of times where I had to tell her about stuff, and I'm like, okay, you could calm down, like, on that discussion or conversation and things. But anyways, but no, like, so moving forward, back in the COVID era and stuff. But no, getting back to the hanging out thing. So, when you ask like a person numerous times, especially somebody you consider a close friend, they always decline, always say no. And then, of course, with social media, then it's like, it's one thing where it's like when they're not really active on social media, but they make sure that they post like their significant other, like, anytime when they're hanging out. So it's like this, and so this is like after, like the depression and all that stuff. And I'm like, now it's like pretty much like post-depression, where it's like I'm sitting down dealing with that stuff, And it was bad. There were some days where it was really bad, and it didn't really help, where it's like you see them post on social media and you're all like, yeah, they don't really be posting like that on social media. Then you click on the story, because it was mainly stories, but it's like you click on the story and then you see them like hanging out with the guy, and you're like, wait a minute, like, it's COVID, there's a whole like, and I'm like, you mean, okay, so it's like one time, ain't tripping about it, but it's like when it's like every other day, right? And then there's one day where I'm like, that's something where I'm like, I don't think, no, like, again, like I said, I was a very, weak-minded person, but so many different days where you're seeing it. And then there's one day where she contacts you bright and early in the morning, right? Then I'm still talking on me, by the way. So contacts me bright and early in the morning. Hasn't contacted me that bright and early in the morning in a long time. I had to say it probably had been some time and stuff. So, but messages me saying, are you home? I'm like, yeah, sure, I'm home. Like, what's up? And then she was like, hey, can you, get all dressed up and things? And then I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. So pulls up in front of my house. I go in the car, sit there and stuff. And then that's when she told me that, she needed me to cover for her so she could go hang out with the guy. And then, yeah, so she was, I guess, like, told, I guess she hadn't really told her parents that she was in a relationship. And by the way, I'm like, we're in our 20s. I'm like, fam, I guess it's just I'm again different. If I'm gonna be flat out. I guess like you don't really want to break that news until it's like some time done like went into the relationship and stuff. But regardless, anyways. But no, it's like you sit there and you're kind of like, dang, like I thought that's why you were over here, like we were hanging out and stuff. And yeah, I think it was like then and there where I knew like the friendship, it wasn't no more. I was like, I still tried, and like I trust me, I was using my strength, I was trying to use God's strength, I was trying to use every strength that I had left in me to really keep going and things. But yeah, it was just it was hard. It was really hard, and it's like it's even hard kind of like talking about it and thinking that stuff all over again. But I'm like, if I know that it's gonna help somebody out there, then fam, like it wasn't wrong for me to do what I did. I feel like yeah, it's something where, but it's like at the same time, like I didn't really know. So I was like, that's something where I guess if I would have known, I probably still, just trying to hold on to the relationship and try to be as strong as I possibly, not relationship, friendship. But just be, did I say friendship relate? I really, you know what? I don't even know. Doesn't even matter. We're just gonna keep going. But anyways, yeah, just trying to remain strong and just continue holding on to the friendship and things. It was something where it's like, yeah, I probably would have still said, yeah, it wouldn't have mattered and things. And so, I mean, like, even after that, like, I remember, because I think, as you guys can see, I'm a sneakerhead. I probably would have had a lot more sneakers than what you're seeing right now. This rack probably would have been doubled in things. But, no, like, I had gave her a good, I'm trying to think, was it 20? It was a lot of pair of shoes. Like, I remember it was like a couple of, like, probably a few rows and stuff of just shoes. And and the thing is this, like I'm talking on it, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna just let y'all know right now. It's not about material things. It's more so about mental. Like if I had to say like material, it's like what 10%, and then the mental is like the 90%. Like that's gonna matter more than the material stuff. Me, I'm like it's stuff that I can reacquire again. I don't care. At the end of the day, I really don't care about the material stuff. You can keep it until that stuff breaks. It don't matter to me. So. But anyways, that's just in case, like, if she ever does watches this video and stuff, like, yeah, it's like the material stuff never did matter. It was something where I was like, I did it because overall, like, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna say that I'm a bad person, but I'm also gonna say I'm not the greatest person in the world. I'm me. I'm your average human being walking up and down the street. I just so happen to make videos for a living, and I guess yeah, have feeling stronger than the average person and stuff. So, but anyways, but it was that freaking a laptop, just time out of my day, just helping her. I remember when she was in college, and I remember there was like one night where I was like, I'm not gonna until you feel that you need or that you don't need help anymore. Like I will help you until the whole night. I'm like, I don't care, because I'm trying to think. Was it? No, this was definitely prior before COVID, because I remember I was still working at the cafe, so I was like, fam, I don't care about me being late or me being tired at my job. I'm like, if you need help, you need help. There was even a day where I remember she said there was like a shooting outside the college, and I'm like, I didn't know whether it was outside or inside, but I'm like, fam, if I gotta go there and do some Tom Cruise Mission Impossible stuff, there was something where it's like, and you're willing to put your life on the line for a person, and it's like, that's the thing, you guys sit down and think about it. Not too many people would do stuff like that. It's like that's something where I'm like, I wouldn't even expect nobody to do that for me, but it's like, you're doing that for others, and it's like, regardless of how they feel, it's like, yeah, that's some stuff where it's like, you guys sit down and really think about that. But again, not again, just overall, like if you just don't have feelings for that person, it's like still like I feel like it doesn't matter like how above and beyond I would have went for her all the way to like if I've been doing the bare minimum, still like the ending would have happened regardless. All right, so but anyways, whether it been her or me, but the ending, one of us ending the friendship would have 100% happened. So anyways, so yeah, there was that. I mean, there was at times where at her job, that because she worked a couple of jobs, and I was all like, fam, if you ever need help, I might not know about that stuff, but I'm like, if I got called out that day of my job, ruined my check just to make sure, I'm like, see, that stuff where it's like, not too many people would do that. You know, like not too many people would like ruin what they got going on in their life, you know, put stuff aside, all that. And I'm like, fam, like if it came down to it, whether it been her or content creating, I'm like, bro, I probably at some point in time, like if it meant like, you know, just overall what I wanted, where it was like, and I guess like, you know, it ain't really about what I want in life, you know, like that's the thing where it's like people have their wants and their needs. So, but anyways, if it was left up to me, whether it was like, you know, relationship, marriage, kids, family, all that stuff, you know, or content creating, living the dream, big old fancy mansion, all that stuff, all the cars that you want, all the money that you could get, all the shoes that you want, video games, high end tech, whatever, you know, between the two, fam, I at some point in time I would have posted my last video. That's something where I was like, I thought about that. I had thought about that numerous times. It's crazy how I accepted so many things that was never gonna happen before I accepted the fact that it was like, yeah, you know, we were pretty much not friends anymore at one point in time. So yeah, it was like, you know, I sit down and I think about all that stuff and I'm like, man, you know, it's a lot. You know, even sitting down talking about it right now, I feel like that I am so drained from even talking about it right now. Now it's like I need a breather, you know. So man, it was but it was something where I'm like, you know, I know people probably ask would I want to go through that again. No, no, not at all. I'm like, that's something where it's like I would like to hope and think that, you know, I'm a much more stronger person now than I once was. Yeah, probably if I'd been in high school, I probably would have messaged her and been like, oh, hey, you know, like, what's up? What you got going on? Even after the fact I ended the friendship, I had to say now in my adult years, I'm like, fam, I'm getting old. You know, like I'm 26. I know I'm not that old, but I feel like, you know, more so mentally, I'm like, I just can't take that type of stuff no more. I'm like, I really can't. So it's yeah, it's something where it's like, you know, I wish her the best in life, you know, despite all the stuff that went down. Like I'm still gonna try to remain positive, you know, but it's something where it's like you guys sit down and think about it. You know, like, and that's something where I know people will try to get on me, like, you shouldn't have ended the friendship, you still should have kept going. But it's like you sit down and you think of the one thing that hurts you the most. One thing. It don't matter what it is. You think of one thing that will hurt you down to your core, like here in your core, that person that you have feelings for, friends, family, whoever, all right, they did that one thing that you know that you like, you knew that it would hurt. They probably even knew to an extent that it would hurt, right? And they still did it anyways. Do you think you're gonna like that's something where it's like, you know, I know people will probably ask like, are you a forgiving person? Because, you know, I know like how I mentioned God, and so they're like, okay, most likely you're a Christian, and it's like that's like what the Christian religion teaches you is to, you know, forgive your neighbors? Look, bro, I don't know, I'm not good with that stuff. Like I'm telling you, it's gonna be just one of those things where I'm like, I don't remember stuff, you know, too well, but you know, it's something where I'm like, I'm not gonna hold any anger or aggression towards her. I'm gonna at least try. But am I angry? Am I, you know, like well, not aggressive, but a part of me, I had to say, I guess I'm just more so just stressed. You know, like it's a lot. Like besides that, there's just other things that's going on in my life. So it's like thinking of that, and it's like, you know, two negatives in a situation like this ain't gonna equal a positive. It's like, nah, it's just more negative and stuff. So yeah, it's something where I'm like, it's just, it's life, you know. Like that's one thing that I can tell people. It's like life is life. So it's like, you know, if you're going through something like this or going through something else that's like kind of like in that same ballpark of like mentally damaging, then, you know, like you'll get through it. Like, cause I've been through something like this before when I was in high school, and the way that I got through it was by overall becoming friends with her. So it's like, really, I think what I need to do this time around, just kind of just focus on myself. And I think that's like another key advice that I can give a lot of you guys. Like, if ain't nobody else gonna focus on you, focus on yourself. You know, like do things for yourself. You know, be there for yourself. Cause yeah, at the end of the day, it's like, you know, people being friends with you, you know, whether whoever it is, it's like that stuff ain't guaranteed. And so, you know, it's something where it's like, if you can find a stable friendship, relationship, whatever, it's like, hold on to this. Especially with a relationship, you can find somebody that like has the same feelings for you. It's like, it don't matter who they are, if they feel that same way, it's like you hold on to that forever. All right, because that's something where I was like, yeah, when the one friend told me that she had feelings for me, I was like, that's something I was just, you know, just kind of sitting in my own mind. And I'm like, now I'm really realizing, like, you know, how good that could have been if, you know, if I just got out of my mind and actually, you know, focused on her and paid attention to her and made something good out of that, then yeah, I could have, this video could have been a lot different in things, it just been like, it probably wouldn't even exist. I'd probably been posting like what was that video that Dante did? He did a full blown like wedding video and things. I probably been having Uzi and Playboy Cardi shooter playing in the background. I'm saying, I'm like, that's what I'm like thriving for in life, but. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't want no more life lessons like this. I'm like, I don't think emotionally, I can't take that stuff no more. So it's one of those things where I'm like, oh, and then also that's what I want to, talk on, discuss, because I, just kind of like answering questions before people ask me those questions, because again, I'm an overthinker. So I like to think of all that stuff, but I know people probably would ask like, let's say if she were to contact me and would want to, like, let's say it didn't work out with the guy. She contacts me and she's like, hey, I want to, start something with you and things. Or obviously she ain't going to word it like that. But, let's say like if it was like working its way up, like I was seeing all these different things. I'm like, that's something where, despite of how it went about, I still feel like the same way where it's like, look, and I think this is something that I even said to her, like in the last message that I sent her, but I'm like, I actually just said like we couldn't be friends anymore, but I did say, I said something along the lines, I'll have to find it. I don't really feel like looking at the messages and stuff, but anyways, but I said that, like if you ever need help with something, I'm like, I'll help you, but for the most part, it's like, being friends, it's like, yeah, I just don't really think that that's a good thing, so it's something where I'm like, hey, if I go my whole life never talking to her again, then it's like, it's a wasted opportunity. It's something where it's like I want to say like I want to put all the blame on me, but at the same time I'm like, it's a two-person thing, so it's like it wasn't like I'll admit I was in the wrong for gaining feelings. I'm like, I should have gained feelings for somebody that had feelings for me, but at the same time it's like, fam, we could have hung out a lot more. We could have talked a lot more. We could have did a lot more things. I'm like, probably made us even stronger friends. I probably would have been friends even today. I'm like, wouldn't even have mattered about no relationship or not. So, cause yeah, I'm like, there's been times where it's like, girls that have caught feelings for or liked, and they've gotten into relationships, and we still friends to this day. Why? Because I feel like we have more of an emotional conversation where it's like, I don't even care what you got going on in your personal life, where it's like, nah, like you cool, you actually care, you actually show that you care. So yeah, it's like, and it's just something where it kind of like brought me back to moments when I was a kid, where it's like, yeah, people didn't really want to chill with you and be cool with you, something that I dealt with as a kid. And yeah, I'm like, I find myself not, wanting to talk. Like if they, like overall, like if those same people were to see me out in public and be all like, oh, hey, I remember you went to, I'm like, oh, hi. I'm like, how's it going? All right, cool. Got stuff to do. I'm gonna go on about my business and just walk away. I'm like, fam, and I know people are like, that ain't really too forgiving. And I'm like, if they, like I said, if they came to me on some stuff where they needed help, I think that'll probably be the only way where it's like I could remotely see a friendship come out of it. It's like if in a situation where I'm like, I need to help this person, and then I'm like, all right, like I can see that they're in a situation, so like, yeah, let me help them out real quick. But other than that, I'm like, yeah, I'm just, as far as just sit down casually talking, I'm like, nah, not really my thing anymore. So yeah, that's something where I'm like, like, especially when I was like in 2020, I seen like myself go through a transformation. Like I seen myself change, and I don't know if it's for, the better or not, but yeah, it's something where I'm like, I just can't be who I once was, where I'm this person where I'm like, oh, it don't matter. It's like, yeah, you can hurt me and things. I'm like, fam, I'm like that with friends and family. I'm like, you say or do anything that remotely hurts me, you gonna notice a change right then and there real quick. I just don't, I'm like, I just can't go through life, anymore. Like, oh, okay. Like, it's cool. People walk all over me, do this, do that, be disrespectful. And I'm like, that ain't me no more. I'm like, maybe an older me, maybe me 10 years ago, but me right now, May 28, 2023, I'm like, yeah, I'm not with that. So I'm like, it's something where it's like, if and that's somewhere I think that, again, giving out advice, ask a person, are we cool? If they're, you know, iffy, whatever, it's like, okay, like if they don't answer the question right away, or not even so much as answer the question right away, because I know people can get busy throughout the day, but, you know, like, but no, like, talk with people, communicate, and yeah, if they're just like, oh, you know, whatever the situation is, whether it is a relationship, friendship, and they're just, you know, I'm pretty sure they ain't gonna come out, maybe in a relationship they might, but a friendship, I don't think a person is gonna really come out and say like, oh yeah, I don't really see us being friends in the future. You don't really hear that too often. Maybe with a relationship, then it's like, yeah, you might see where it's like they just in it for maybe some things, and then yeah, eventually at some point in time, you know, just disappear or whatever. But yeah, it's somewhere it's like, nah, communicate. It's very helpful, you know. So anyways, and that being said, I will talk to y'all later. I felt like I talked on everything I needed to talk on. I guess if I need to talk on more stuff, I don't know, man. I just don't even want to talk on it anymore. I feel like I need to say everything I needed to say in this video, and I don't really want to add more to it, talk more on it, think about the situation. I really just want to move forward in life and just, you know, just start fresh, you know, overall, just, yeah, just stop thinking of this and things and just live my life like how I should be living my life. So, but anyways, yeah, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and peace.